Several tools in the Microsoft world revolve around Azure Active Directory. Think about Microsoft 365. The authentication is, of course, done with Azure Active Directory, and that is the identity provider. Now, when it comes to identities within Azure Active Directory, there are two kinds of identities within Azure AD. So I'm currently logged into Azure Active Directory here in order to show you those two kinds of identities. You see there are several users that are already created, and the fourth column that I'm looking at is called as directory synced, and it tells us whether the user account is synchronized from your on-premises or not. And since this particular attribute is set to no, it means that it was created natively in the cloud, and that means that it was created inside Azure Active Directory. The option that we choose here to create a new user account is the new user button on the top. We then go ahead and fill up all of these values. As an instance, let's go ahead and fill up this quickly. So I'm going to call it as, let's say, Rob, and then you select your domain, okay, and then I'll give it a full name. That's Rob. The first name is also Rob. I'll leave it there. The last name is not mandatory. Let us generate an automatic password, and I will leave rest of these options as default and let it create. There you go. Now this also has the directory synced attribute as no. It was created natively in Azure Active Directory. Now these are called as cloud native accounts, also called as cloud only identities. So what is a cloud only identity? A cloud only or a cloud native identity is a user account that exists in Azure Active Directory only, and it does not get synchronized back to your on-premises. This is typically used by small organizations that do not have their on-premises or do not plan to use ADFS to manage local identities. Now, because the user accounts are stored in Azure Active Directory only, you manage cloud identities with tools such as Microsoft 365 Admin Center and sometimes with PowerShell as well when required. Now, if we quickly navigate to another portal, which is called as admin.microsoft.com, and on the left hand side, if we click on active users, we should be able to see the users that we have in Azure AD, right? So what I want to demonstrate is that the users that get created here will then be visible in the Microsoft 365 admin portal as well. And this is what I meant when I said that the cloud-based identities can be managed with the Microsoft 365 admin portal as well. You see all of these options you got. You can delete the user, you can add multi-factor authentication, you can manage groups and manage the contact information as well. So there are quite a lot of things that you can do as far as the users attributes are concerned, both in admin.microsoft.com and in Azure Active Directory, of course with PowerShell as well. Let's take a look at what hybrid identities are in the next section.